also going to change stream information to just chatting. Boink. And still on timer, which is kind of cool. Let's see what we were going to show everybody the work that I've done on my warning that I've been making. Give me a second. Let me get a full screen over here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, close all the fool's errand shit out. Don't need it no more. Get my chat back up. Okay, full screen over there. So the first part of the process was developing the text of the disclaimer, right? Which I showed that the other day. And how long do we got? Okay, so we still got 2 blocks here, which is kind of cool. So that should give me enough time to show you what I'm doing, right? Let me close that and go over to a sprite. So this is the text of it here. Let me show you a little bit bigger. So the text is, warning, this Let's Play may contain discussions including but not limited to sexual references, drug use, and violence. It will certainly contain vulgar language and radical, lunatic, left-wing discussions. This is not intended for younger audiences, right? So, of course, the idea is first we come up with the text. I also mocked up how I wanted it to look, right? So this is how I want it to look, my warning. And then from here, after I mock it up, let's see, let me get this over here. Max screen it out. After I mock it up, then I record the audio. And how I recorded the audio is I actually just did it in OBS, which records video too, but I can just cut it out in my video editing program, which I use Caden Live for that. So I record the audio in OBS. I did I think 7 or 8 runs of it just so I can pick the best sections of it. I divided it into sections, which in this case there is the warning, which is the top part, and then 3 paragraphs, right? So I divided it into those 3 paragraph sections and then chose the best out of my 8 takes of those 3 paragraph sections. And then to see if I play this in Media Player, it is not going to play it on my stream, which I don't want to do. I want to actually get that to play in... Let's see, open with MPHC. Do I have that on my audio at all? No, I do not. So, I'm going to have to do an audio capture real quick. Let's see. What? Oh. So... on my Ace sprite, let me go ahead and just put an audio source real quick. Add source, application, audio capture, and this is going to be Media Player Lite is what I use. And I'm just going to do this quickly. And it's going to be this one here. I think that's it. I think that's all I need. And then... give me a sec. I also need to make sure I edit it to where it's only playing on the right channel. So should be playing on. Hello. Why am I not seeing it there? Yeah. So the font, of course, I didn't really explain. So the font that I used is the old Commodore 64 font. I use that for most of my stuff. Oh, yeah, duh. Okay, that's why it's not up there. So there we go. I had to transition to the new scene after I edited it. So let me make sure that I get MPL needs to be on the applications layer. I think, and that's 4. Is that 4? Shit, let me double check here real quick. I want to make sure that that's right. Settings, Output, no, audio, right? No, output. Audio. What? Something just silenced. I was hearing like some hissing in the background and it just silenced. So let's see. Application is track 5. So let me edit that so to make sure that it's on the right one. MPL track 5. Perfect. And I now have it to where it'll go to both my Twitch stream and my VOD. So here's what it sounds like after I record it. Now, it is exactly 20 seconds, and I wanted to make it an even number so I could animate it properly, right? So then I record the audio, and it sounds like this. Warning. This Let's Play may contain discussions, including, but not limited to... Oh, what is this thing doing? Holy shit, dude. That just maxed out my freaking audio. Let's kill the volume on it. Will that do it? Warning. This Let's Play may contain discussions, including, let me start that over again real quick. Sorry about that. I didn't actually hear that. I hope that wasn't too loud. I'm going to have to cut that out of my audio. I forgot to turn monitor and output, so I didn't actually hear how horrible that was. So here we go. Warning. This Let's Play may contain discussions, including, but not limited to, sexual references, drug use, and violence. It will certainly contain vulgar language and radical lunatic left-wing discussions. It is not intended for younger audiences. So, and that is... Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, it maxed out my thing. Now, it probably just peaked and cut out, but I'll take a listen to that afterwards. Like I said, I wasn't able to hear it because I forgot to turn on monitoring. So that's what it sounds like, right? And that's exactly 20 seconds worth of audio. I still don't know why I didn't have media player in here. I need to make sure that I add that into my normal setup. Okay. And then from the audio, what I do is I take the audio and I go through the audio and I figure out the times that everything begins and ends. Every word, every syllable. And you're like, holy fuck, that sounds tedious. Yeah, it is. It is. And when I do that, this is what I end up with. I end up with basically a list, right, of, and I can, I decided to go with 20 frames per second for my animation, which is 50 milliseconds per frame. That's important because the program that I'm animating it in doesn't go in frames per second. It goes for the amount of time per frame, which is 50 milliseconds, right? I was thinking about possibly doing it at 25 frames per second. And the reason why is because it's divisible on... it's divisible without fractions. These are the only two frame rates between 20 and 30 frames per second that doesn't divide out to a fraction, right? So at 20 frames per second, that's going to make 400 frames, and that's what I chose because I didn't want to do 800 frames just to make it more smooth. It sounds kind of stupid. And then what I did is I went through and I found all the times, like here, right here, it says, and this one right here, I have the key up here as to how it's charted. So if it has a colon on it, if it's a time frame and it has a colon, it's at 60 frames per second. If it has a semicolon, then it's at 20 frames per second. So the first thing, and since I recorded it in 60 frames per second and not 20 frames per second, I had to do one and then convert it to the other, right? So a lot of calculator work, right? So you'll see here, my initial thing is 104, so 1 second in, and 4 frames, which is 60 frames per second, right? 460. I start the term warning. It ends at 139. And then these are animation cues that I've added since. These don't have to do with the audio. And then anytime where you see start is where I start a word, right? This, word ends, let's, word ends, start play. And if you notice that like these don't have the frames, so 2 seconds, 58 frames, right? This one's 2 seconds, 19 frames and 20 frames per second. So this is this converted to 20 frames per second. And then this is the actual frame. The very first number is the frame. So at frame 21, the warning starts. At 33, the warning ends. At frame 40, the first dot of the semicolon pops on. At 47 seconds, the second dot of the semicolon pops on. 54 seconds, all that ends, right? 55 seconds is the start of, or excuse me, 55th frame. And remember, this is out of 400 frames, right? The this begins. 58, the this ends. Frame 59. And of course, this is converted from this number, right? So 2 times 20, which is 40, plus 19, equals 59. So frame 59. So the very first number of all this is always going to be the frame number. Frame 65 end, frame 66 start play, frame 72 end, frame 73 start may, 76 end, 77 start contain, 86 end, 87 start discussions, 98 end, 99 start including, and this whole chart is like this. It's literally just a frame by frame of when everything in the animation is needed to start or end. And the idea of the initial stuff here, where you see all the starts and ends, is to chart exactly where in it my voice, my words and syllables start. You'll notice some of them are split, like intended is split. So I'm going to have those animated separately. Younger audiences is all split up. So what I have here, let me go back to Sprite. So I got 5 minutes left of this, and then we're going to probably end for the day. You go into Sprite, and the second one, this is my animation that I've started. Now, the way I start this, right, is I start off with keyframes. The first keyframe is a blank keyframe. The last keyframe is the final product, what I want it to do, right? And then once I do that, then I create additional keyframes in between them, right? So in this case, it's going to be per word, right? Period disappears, audience. Here, let's see if I can make that just a little bit bigger. Okay, pull that down just a wee bit. And this is the frame count right here. You can see so far I only have 29 frames. 29? No, that's not right. 20, 70. Oh, it starts over, right? So 129 frames currently out of 400, right? So, and I keyframe it backwards, right? From a full image to period gone, audience, or ES of audiences gone, audience gone, young ER of younger gone. And it just goes back like that until it vanishes. And this is going to be put on the frames where they actually vanish, right? So you can see it popping up. And right now it's just one per. I still need to put the transition frames in between them, right? And then eventually the final product, and I've started animating the first part to get it to keyframe properly. So you'll notice from frame 1 to frame 20, there's nothing on the screen. From frame 21, just like in my text file with all my keyframe moments, 21 warning pops on, right? And then once you get near the end, one dot of the colon, and then it gets to the first paragraph, right? And then the first paragraph, this let's play may contain discussions. And now, of course, that's as far as I've animated it, because now it's doing it one frame per word, right? So when I hit enter to run it, you'll notice warning, ... This let's play may contain, and then boom, that's as far as I've gotten. So when I'm done, what I'll end up doing is I'll end up getting all those keyframes in there, deciding how I want the final animation to look. The first way that I'm going to have it animated is I'm just going to pop in each letter as the words pops in. So it's going to be doing the same thing the words are doing, just down to the letters, right? And that'll be my basic animation. From there, I'll recopy this, and then I'll make something a little bit more animated, like certain pixels appearing, for example. And that will that will make it to where it'll be animated in a more neat way. And then from there, I'll recopy it again, and I can do even a third animation where I have like maybe the pixels falling in, or maybe like a line sliding in from the side, hitting this thing. Did I change my cursor size for some reason? Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, damn it. I hate that. 1 pixel. So basically for each different animation, it's just a matter of what I want in between like this and that, right? It's like, how is that butt going to appear there? And I have so many frames to do it in. So I have to choose how many frames it takes and what's in between those frames. They're called in-betweens, or in the animation industry, they call that tweeners, right? People who make in-between frames are tweeners. Anyway, animation is one of those things that I've studied, that I have tons of like knowledge on, but have never really been able to apply it. So that's what I'm doing here on my little warning sign, which is going to be like that. And that's it. That is it. That is everything that I'm doing on it. And I think I got like a minute left on this block. So I'll be putting that up. Probably not this cycle, so it won't be on next week's videos, but it'll probably be the week after that, because I don't think I'll have this in time for the edited ones that I'll be doing tonight. So anyway, where are we here? 49 seconds? Yeah, let me kill that timer and go into boink. No game in there, which is funny. And let me get everything cleaned up. So, oh, wow, I still got lots of shit running everywhere. Okay, and that was fun. That was fun. So that gives you an idea of my animation process. Like I said, I'm about halfway through. Maybe a little bit closer to the beginning than halfway through. Not much though. And then I have to do those tween frames, and I'll have one animation done, and it'll just make the stuff appear on the screen as I speak it, right? So a little motion graph with just text coming on, and then eventually, like I said, I'll turn around and I'll recopy that, and then I'll animate it differently, and I'll have multiple animations for the same thing. It's tedious, but you know, animation is, right? So, and that is a little bit of practice into. I've been wanting to start off with pixel graphic animations for a while, and I may do something after that, because this is kind of a primer, something to start that's easy, right? Not necessarily difficult. And that is that. That is that. Okay. So let's go ahead and call it here. My name's Thorn. This has been the Game Design Lexicon. We've been playing The Fool's Errand, yet for the last few minutes of this video, I've been explaining my animation process for making my warning screen that I'm going to be putting on my videos on YouTube. If you like this kind of content, by all means, join us over on Twitch, where we do stream currently Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, noon p.m. till 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's GMT minus 6. You can be part of the studio audience. If you can't catch us live, though, I post all of this on YouTube. Just hit subscribe and the alert button to know when I'm coming out with new videos, which is pretty much constantly. 3 every day, typically. What else? You can also check my social media platforms in my abouts on both of these. We are now done with Fool's Errand, and I'm going to put that in the completed bin. This weekend, I'm going to decide on what's going to be my next retro PC game. I have about, I don't know, like a half a dozen in my next list, so it's just a matter of choosing which one. And then next Friday, we'll be starting a different game. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining me. Thank you, X-Band, for keeping me company as usual. Congratulations on the 20 stream run. That's awesome. I definitely thank you for that. I'm going to call it quits, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And by all means, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.